Welcome to the Vegas Insider channel here on YouTube as we take a look at Week 6 college football best bets. And we bring on our friend Brian Edwards for 3 best bets. And Brian, let's get right to it. And we'll begin with Alabama and Texas A&M, Jimbo Fisher and Nick Saban. We'll see if they hug, if they say hi before the game after all their offseason nonsense. But A&M beat Alabama last year. We'll see if Alabama can get some revenge this time around. And what do you think about this game between the Crimson Tide and the Aggies, Brian?
I'm going to go with Alabama minus 14 in the first half. Now, I suspect this line is going to move north of 14. I only like it if it's 14 or fewer. So, get it in ASAP. But, as we know, Alabama in the first half has been gold for a long, long time. And I have kind of neglected it after going with it and losing it against Texas. I did have a little bit for it on Vandy, but didn't have it in any of my pick packs or anything. But I think even if Bryce can't go, I saw enough out of Milroe that I like what I saw. And, Max Johnson got hurt as well. And Haynes King is just not very good, man. I mean, I know he's a young quarterback. He hasn't had a whole lot of experience, but the opener last year, 3 picks against Kent State. Did not look good against Sam Houston State. The offense was just awful until they moved to Johnson. And now one of the 2 picks he threw last week at Mississippi State, and just a small bit of playing time, by the way, was not his fault. And he did have a nice run on 4th and goal. But I think he'll make a lot of mistakes on the road. And, Alabama wants this one bad. And, A&M's kind of should be reeling. They got so lucky to win that Arkansas game, but they got it put on them last week. And Jimbo is like a Jameis Winston away from not being a head coach and selling encyclopedias back in West Virginia.
I don't know if they sell encyclopedias anymore, even in West Virginia or anywhere. But, we'll see now after Texas A&M lost to Mississippi State last week. Now let's stay in the SEC, Brian. Florida and Missouri at the Swamp. And Mizzou gave Georgia all they could handle. Mizzou just couldn't hang on in the fourth quarter. They did get the home dog cover. And now they head to Gainesville, Florida, off that Sunday win over Eastern Washington. And the Gators trying to get in the win column for the first time in SEC play. They've lost to Kentucky and Tennessee already. So let's see how they do here. What do you like here between the Gators and the Tigers?
I like the Gators here. Missouri has had 2 really nice efforts, but somehow has lost both games. Their defense was phenomenal for 3 quarters the other night, but just ran out of gas. And, they had that 1st and goal with the 1 late in the first half where they got just an inexcusable false start and ended up having to settle for a field goal. They settled for several short field goals. Now, credit their kicker. He had a nice bounce-back game after missing that game winner against Auburn. And credit to Drinkwitz for having his team ready after just an unfathomable loss at Auburn where it was just a comedy of errors. But I just think after those just soul-crushing losses where they should be 2-0 in the SEC, they should have a win over the top-ranked team in the nation. They should be in the driver's seat in the SEC East. But instead – they're below 500 with 3 losses. I mean, the loss to K-State looks a lot better by the day, but I just don't think they got to be just so down and deflated for this. I know Florida's on a short week, but the starters didn't even really play much the other day, and I think Anthony Richardson has his confidence back. Now, Florida's defense has got a lot of issues, but offensively, they're really rolling here the last couple of games. And I think Florida scores a lot on them, and I think Florida covers the 11.
All right, now for our final game, we're going to shift over to the ACC now. And NC State hosts Florida State. Seminoles off their first loss of the season to Wake Forest. NC State, they hung with Clemson, but Clemson ended up beating NC State last week. Now the Wolfpack back at home to take on the Seminoles. Wolfpack a short favorite. What do you like in this game?
I like NC State minus the 3. There's still a couple of 3s out there. If your number's 3.5, buy the half point of the key number of 3. NC State in bounce back mode here. NC State's won back-to-back games over FSU by double digits. It's won 4 of the last 5 in this rivalry, the last 3 by double-digit margins. Last year in Tallahassee, Devin Leary threw for 314 yards and 4 touchdowns. The NC State's got an outstanding defense. FSU is banged up. Got several starters questionable, including offensive tackle Robert Scott, defensive tackle Fabian Lovett, linebacker Amari Gaynor. One of their wide receivers, Ja'Kai Douglas, is out. And NC State looks pretty good from a health situation. And they've won 13 in a row at home, whereas FSU is 3-7 straight up and 10 road assignments under Norvell. So NC State laying a small number at home. I like the Wolfpack.
All right, so to recap Brian's 3 best bets for this week, he's on Alabama first half against Texas A&M, also laying the points with Florida against Missouri, and he's going to lay the short number with NC State against Florida State. Brian, before we let you go, tell us about the college football podcast at Vegas Insider.
Yeah, Bet CFB pod twice a week. They drop Monday morning and Thursday morning. It's me and Scott Manzeria on we record it Sundays, and then a featured guest for the midweek show that I'm still working on for this week. But yeah, check us out. Bet CFB pod will be back Thursday morning with picks and analysis for week 6. And please sign up, subscribe, rate, all that good stuff.
That is Brian Edwards. I am Kevin Rogers. Thanks a lot for watching. And as always, best of luck with your bets.